r/NoSleep. Posted by u/inletharn. Every time I see my little sister my eyes start bleeding. Hi Reddit. Today is my little sister's birthday and mom said I could finally tell the world about how awesome she is. Her name is Hope and she turns 3. There will be a party and everyone will come. So let me tell you about our family, so you could get to know us better and share the fun. My name is Caleb, I'm 8. I like Pokemon and Minecraft. I live with mom and dad and Hope, of course. I would say we are quite an average family and there's nothing exciting about us to tell. I mean, Kyle's dad is a policeman. He fights evil people who try to sneak to our houses. He has a gun and knows millions of stories. My dad is a technician, and it may sound cool, but if you think he's building robots or some awesome machines, you are wrong. His job is fixing electricity. Each morning he jumps into his minivan and goes helping people around our town. But he also knows a lot about everything, so you can ask him anything and get an explanation. My mom is a housewife. She used to be a scientist, as she told me, but now, as we have Hope, all she does is cooking and cleaning and all that stuff. When Hope arrived I didn't see her for a long time. It must be very hard to take care about the baby. Dad was very serious back then. Son, he told me, Mom needs to be alone for some time. She must be with Hope and make sure that she's alright. And he used to be there with her, so I was staying with Auntie Claire and her daughter Ashley. It was not fun. They have no video games and Ashley doesn't like Pokemon. When Mom came back I noticed that she is thinner than she used to be and had some wrinkles, and dark circles. She was wearing white clothes like they have in a hospital. I was there once when I sprained my ankle. Dad said that Mom is very tired and would need some rest, so I should behave and be quiet. Soon our neighbors started to drop by to congratulate us. They brought flowers and food. And Mom looked happy and Dad smiled. Everybody was asking how Hope was, if it was difficult to bring her to this world and some strange adult questions I didn't understand. I asked Dad when I could see Hope and he said that it's not the time yet. He said that once Mother feels like it, she will show me. One day I asked Mom as she was brushing her hair if it's okay to visit Hope already. She turned back at me with a smile and said, "Of course, honey." But just a bit later. She is not strong enough yet for the visitors. Probably next month, alright? I said okay. And I also noticed that Mom has some extra hair stuck on her brush. I know that it's impolite to ask a lady about such things, so I went to Dad and asked him instead. He said something about vitamins and that it happens to all the mothers and we need to support her and bring her nutritious food. I hope I spelled that right. Couple of weeks later Dad took me with him to his job, because Mom had a visit from special people to help her recover and we didn't want to mess around. So we came to this place with big machines. They had a lot of lights and switches. Dad opened one of them, the one that had no lights blinking, and fixed it. It was boring. And then we met Kyle's dad. He looks like a superhero with his uniform and shining badge. I asked if I could hold his gun, but he just laughed and said it was not a toy. He talked with my dad and said that today he caught a thief, who was sneaking around, but now he's taken care of and we don't need to worry. When we came back home in the evening Mom treated us with a nice dinner. As I was doing dishes I overheard she said that Hope is still very weak and she was not sure if she was going to make it. I felt sad and prayed that night, so that my little sis got better. It was spring when I first saw her. She was lying in her cradle behind the glass, with some people in face masks and coats checking different machines connected to her. I couldn't get a proper look, but I got an impression that she is very fragile. I really hoped that she would get well soon. I felt tears dropping down my cheeks. Mom looked at me and took out a handkerchief. She wiped my face and I saw that the cloth is slightly pink, just as the covering of Hope's cradle. Finally my sister was feeling better. On her first birthday we brought her home and she stayed in her room. We had a party. Lots of people came. We had drinks and food and I was allowed to play as much Minecraft as I wanted. Even the Allfather stopped by and gave a speech, praising my mom and dad. They looked so happy. He said that Hope was special. I felt proud to be her big brother. Next morning, as I was eating my cereal I found something strange in my bowl. It was a thin piece of something solid that stuck in my mouth. As I was looking at it closely Mom quickly grabbed it from me and put it to trash. I saw a band-aid on her pinky. Probably she cut her finger. I should have helped Mom more. She is so tired taking care of Hope all the time. Hope was better, but I was still not allowed to see her. Dad said that despite she's with us now, she was still very weak, so I'd better not disturb her. He explained that she had some issues and that all we could do for now was to pray. A month later a blackout happened. I woke up in the middle of the night as my parents were running around the house in panic. I got out of my bed and went to ask if I could help with anything. Dad showed me back to my room and said that since there is no electricity, the machines that support Hope are not working, so I better be in my room, as the adults would solve the problem. Later that night, a big white van stopped at our drive-in and I saw people in coats and face masks carrying Hope inside. I haven't seen Mom for at least a month since the incident, but finally she came back. So did Hope. Dad installed some extra machines in her room. He said those were generators and they would help if something goes wrong. And Mom had a haircut. Now she is wearing short hair. So short she looks almost like those ladies in Black Panther movie. Next day, Kyle's dad stopped by and had a chat with my parents. I didn't hear much as I was in another room, but they were talking about bad people that damaged the wires. He said that they are in custody and Allfather paid them a visit. One day, closer to Hope's second birthday, I've lost a tooth. It just came out by itself. This means I'm growing up. Dad said that as you grow up your body changes. Hair starts to grow on your face and in different funny places, your voice becomes deeper and the teeth fall out. I'm going to be an adult soon. I will take care of Hope too. I wonder if those itchy patches of skin of mine are red because of hair will grow there. I haven't seen Mom around much that summer. Dad explained she was spending more time with Hope lately. That blackout accident did no good to her, so she needed extra care. One day I heard Dad shouting from the nursery, calling me. He sounded strange. I ran as fast as I could. The door to the room was open. Dad was inside, holding Mom in his hands, beside the cradle. She looked so thin and small. Dad looked me in the eye and said that I must call Auntie Claire and say that it just happened. So I did. Ignoring all the sudden pain and buzzing in my head. Auntie Claire took me to her place and I stayed there for 2 weeks. I was really worried about Mom, but Auntie Claire said it was going to be alright. She also said that our whole town was praying for her and that Allfather himself took care of our family. When I was back home, Mom looked much better. But now she had to use the wheelchair and Aunties Edna and Michelle came in to cook and clean for us. Dad's friends were there too, everybody came in to help. Allfather visited us that evening. As everyone was listening to every word he spoke, he said that he was really proud of our family. He prayed every day for Hope and that he believed that she would become strong and become a ray of light for our community in these dark times. As Mom became weak and to our deepest grief lost her life force day by day, Dad came up to me one day and said, "Caleb, you're a man now. I want you to help your mother to take care of your little sister. Do you think you could do that?" I said, "Yes, sir." I was really proud that day. I started to help Mom. It was my duty to unlock the door to the nursery each day, and trust me, it is not that easy. It must weigh a ton. My dad constructed a machine that helped my mom to get there. It was like a chair on a rail. I helped to strap the belts and ran downstairs to help Mom get into the wheelchair by the Hope's room. She always smiled as I was running all over the place, saying, "Caleb, I'm really proud of you." I also wiped the glass in Hope's room and swept the floor. Except Dad didn't allow me to do it at the spots where wires and all the computers were. He said I could touch something and that would wake Hope up, and we didn't want that. So I was working hard to make sure that my parents are proud of me and I'm a real big brother taking care of my little sister. Yes, it was difficult. I felt like this work squeezed life out of me sometimes. I often had short breath because of all running up and down to the basement. One day, I was sitting on the floor in Hope's room trying to catch my breath and my dad came by. He put his hand on my shoulder and said, "I'm so proud of you, son." I looked back at him and noticed that he is missing some teeth too. In his wide smile there were some gaps. It made him look funny, like in those cartoons. I've asked if he was alright and he said that it's all because of the stress. Taking care of babies is hard. We stayed there looking at Hope sleeping in her bed for a while. Finally, last week, as I was taking care of chores as usual, Dad came in, rolling Mom in her wheelchair. They were both smiling. Dad said that tonight there would be some great news for all of us and asked if I could help Aunties Edna and Michelle with the preparations for the party. That night, I think almost everyone came to our party: the Jacksons, Kyle's family, the Oppenheimers. Everybody. It's good that our basement is so big, that everybody could fit in. They all were cheering and smiling and telling me how my parents are lucky to have such a good son. Then the Allfather walked into a room and everybody went silent. He made a pause and looked at everybody's faces and said, "I am so proud of all of you. Tonight is a special night. Tonight is Hope's birthday. And tonight marks the start of the good day. Each single one of you made a priceless contribution to the life of our little community. You make my soul sing, you make our Lord smile upon you. Go now. Do absolutely everything you please. Tonight Lord blesses you to fulfill the things you could only dream about. Go, have fun. As of tonight he walks among us to witness the start of the good day we prepared for him. Rejoice. And everybody shouted and there were endless rounds of applause and drinks and dancing. Everybody stayed late and I was allowed to stay with everyone. It was nice. My parents look happy. Finally their worries are over. Tomorrow we will bring Hope upstairs. She is finally ready to see the outside world, my dad said. To be honest, he doesn't look so good anymore. He cut his hair short too, as did I. It's easier this way. And he coughs so deeply he's shaking. Yes, parenting is hard. So, yeah. I hope you liked my story. Today is the first day I am allowed to speak to strangers on the internet. I'm pretty sure that you're gonna like Hope, as she is absolutely looking forward to meet you, guys. She told me herself, as I was tucking her blanket. As I've swiped off the tears of happiness that always stain my clothes red, I noticed a wide happy smile on her Full Metal Jacket face.